Well, the rich tend to spend more money to save on time, while the poor tend to spend time in order to save money. So it's a kind of a controversy kind of idea whenever I say about it, but that is the fact. So today I'll be discussing about the differences of the poor and the rich in terms of time and money. So I want to see who wins at the end of the situation. So in this case, without wasting much time, let's dive into this topic and let's find out who wins at the end of this. Now, number one, let me talk about when it comes to hiring help versus doing it yourself. So most likely, the rich tend to hire people in order to multiply their time when it comes to multiplying time to other people. In this case, let's say maybe in things to do with the cooking, in things to do with the groceries shopping, like washing, laundry, like let me just say at large home chores. Now you'll find that all these things, the rich tend to hire people to do what? To enable them be done on their behalf. But in that case, you'll find that that time that they could have used to do this kind of activities, they are actually focusing on how they can do other productive things. If it's like a businessman or an entrepreneur, then of course that person will be now focusing on the tasks and activities to enable more productivity when it comes to the business output and kind of wealth creation activity that requires focus and to multiply their wealth. But in the case of the poor or people with limited kind of resources, you'll find that they will have to do it themselves. And in this case, you'll find that most of the poor people or the lesser or the more limited when it comes to resources, over the weekend, you'll always find someone cooking or doing groceries and washing and generally doing the home chores by her or by himself. Why? Because he has the limited resources when it comes to not be able to pay other people and have those things worked by other people. Now, number two, let's look at the paying for the convenience versus doing things the hard way. Now, when I talk about the paying for convenience, you'll always find that the rich will actually pay for convenience. For example, a rich person or a wealthy person will consider taking a flight just to do his or her meeting first, and it comes to that, he or she will save more time when it comes to attending so many meetings and attending to other things that will require his or her presence. In that case, he will have bit on time consuming, or he will have to bait on wastage of time. Now remember, time is always a limited resource. In this case, I've once had a CEO who could use 8,000 flight ticket, but instead of taking a bus or public transport of 1,500. Why? Because for himself, in this case, he's not looking at the spending, he's not looking into 8,000 and looking into 1,500 and say that this money is little and this is more. So why should he use this flight and not use 1,500? Because it's cheap. In this case, when I look at it, it's like this is expensive and this is cheap. But what he's looking into is the time that he will be using on a public transport. In that case, he opted to go for 8,000 flight because it will save more on time, as he will be able to attend to more meetings, which are very valuable when it comes to focusing on the valuable outcome at the end of wealth creation. In that case, he will have done more as contrary to using the public means of transport, and that will be more productive to the wealth creation. But contrary to the poor, where they tend to do things the hard way, the poor people, the people who have got limited resources will tend to In this case, they will tend to go for 1500 transport system or public transportation. In this case, they will take 1500 shillings just to cater for their public transportation to go and do on some things. Yeah, but in this case, we've just looked at someone or an entrepreneur who is opting to go for 8,000 flight just to save on time. But since the poor or the rich or the less, the people who have got limited resources, they'll go for 1500 transport system. In this case, this is a public transport system where they'll have to pay 1500. But if someone is considering the time that he's going to spend more on that journey, then most of the wealthy people will tend to go for flights. In something to do with maybe booking the first class ticket, the rich tend to use first class tickets. Why? Because in the plane, this first class or business class tickets tend to be more comfort. So when it comes to comfort and resting, so there's always a comfort when it comes to business class, and you have to rest. You have a good rest. So whenever you are going for a meeting, then it won't be that tiresome, or you won't get tired when it comes to giving it comfort. So number 3, it's actually investing in education and skills versus learning slowly on the job. So you'll find that most wealthy people, rich people, tend to invest more in education in terms of having some courses, in terms of attending some conferences, in terms of being taught with experts on how they can actually be more productive when it comes to entrepreneurial skills and all that. So you'll find that most of the wealth people tend to invest more in education and skills just to reach their goal faster, contrary to the poor or contrary to those people that have got limited resources, where you'll find them, they tend to learn slowly on the job or the skills that they are actually want to enable them reach their goal. So the difference is the rich will actually reach their goal fast, and the poor will actually reach their goal slowly. Why? Because in this slowly and at the end, there are so many kind of, let me say, mistakes. Now, when you talk about financial mistakes, this person can actually go into a loss. Unlike for the rich people, whenever this goal is attained, after having education, invested in education and the skills, they will actually settle for that goal very fast and will actually lead into much or more productivity when it comes to wealth creation. But contrary to the poor, you will always find them, they will learn about it slowly. They tend not to invest in education and skills, and in that process, it will take long for them to acquire those skills, and hence there will be so many mistakes that will enable them to undergo so many losses, and in that case, someone will take a longer period to attain the same goal that someone who has a rich mindset, who goes into investing into education and skills, will have achieved, considering the time limit that they have, and at the end, and at the end, they'll actually have to achieve more when it comes to productivity. Now, point number 4, it's actually using technology to automate versus manual labor. Now, the rich or the wealth people tend more to use technology. In terms of maybe if someone has like a repeated kind of tasks that are very repeatedly done. So, repeatedly done. So what the entrepreneurs or the rich mindset does, or the rich in this case, they actually look into a way to embrace technology and automate on this repeatedly task that they can actually enable them not to waste more time on them. So what they do, these tasks are automated. In that case, this will save their time going there, doing them manually and all that. Contrary to the poor tend to use the manual way of doing these kind of tasks. So in this case, they'll have wasted more time doing them by themselves and contrary to the productivity. So in this case, whenever the poor is doing these tasks manually, in that case, the rich are doing them automatically by the use of technology. So that time that the poor uses will actually lead into less productivity. If someone was to earn 1,000 per 1 hour, in that case, the rich will earn 1,000, but for your case, maybe someone will earn even 100 shillings. So how much are you losing? That poor person will be losing around 900 per hour. So that's how the rich actually invest when it comes to technology. In this case, not just to technology, but they invest in robust technology. And then the last one is health and wellness. Now, it is said health is wealth. Health is wealth. Let's all agree here. Whenever you are healthy, then you are rich or you are wealth. Why? Because at some point, whenever you are sick, someone may tend to use millions of money just to treat themselves. So the rich actually know the importance of being healthy. And in that case, you'll find the rich have nutritionists, have got personal trainers who will enable them to educate them on terms of what to eat and what not to eat. But in the case of the poor people who have limited kind of education when it comes to health, they tend not to afford personal trainers, health nutritionists who will advise them the best food to eat, and in that case, they can't even go for checkups, etc. So they are prone to some diseases. Now, if they are prone to some diseases, whenever someone is sick, will automatically lead into what? Into being sick. Now, if you are sick, all your wealth that you have created goes to hospital bills and treatment. In that case, you cannot do anything productive when it comes to entrepreneurial or wealth creation. So that's what the rich actually know better when it comes to health. So having looked at these 5 topics, or having looked at these 5 things that actually the rich do and the poor don't, in that case, time versus money. It's a very, very crucial when it comes to wealth creation. In this case, consider spending more money contrary to spending more time to save money. Why? Because wealth creation depends on time. And if you can cope up with the time, then you are good to go. In that case, whenever time has been lost, then that time can't be recovered. So in this case, consider putting more effort into spending more money and saving time, as this will help you into wealth creation as well as reaching your financial goal. So that's Mr. Barasa, and see you in the next video as I'll be talking about other topic concerning money. Thank you. See you in the next video.